make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is reportedly set to face Devin Haney at 140 pounds, accepting the rehydration conditions without hesitation while remaining fully confident that his skill set, precision, and overall ability surpass those of any challenger placed in front of him.
And I told all of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clauses. I don't even do that. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going?
Devin Haney insists that a fight with Shakur Stevenson will happen, expressing clear determination and strong commitment, while making it obvious through his words and actions that this is a bout he genuinely wants and is actively pushing to make a reality.
Core still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make it happen.
Shakur Stevenson says he is not afraid of Devin Haney at all, but suggests that Haney's team may try to falsely claim that Shakur is deliberately avoiding the fight, despite his repeated confidence and openness to making the matchup happen.
Mentioned Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, that's, yeah, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson believes he is operating on a completely different level, convinced that no fighter in the division is capable of defeating him, while also maintaining that Devin Haney lacks the power and ability needed to knock him out under any circumstance.
Like he's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing to make the fight.
But do you see it as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole thing, the whole plot was like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is determined to prove himself at the highest level, actively seeking fights against elite opponents like Shakur Stevenson as he looks to validate his skill, legacy, and true greatness in the sport.
If those fights are not possible, would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all.
Bill Haney made it clear that they will not come down and wait or wait around, stating that anyone who truly wants a fight with Devin must be willing to move up to 140 to make it happen.
Yeah, they didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, you know, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? You know, as far as like, people know you're ambitious. They know you want to be unified. They know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that
He added that the bout could take place at any time, as long as the challenger is fully ready and willing to step up and make the fight happen.
So we must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process. When you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. You know, they're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, you know, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, you know, we'll never do it. Obviously, you know, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, you know, yeah, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has the potential to surpass even Terrence Crawford in boxing history, acknowledging that Crawford already belongs on the sports Mount Rushmore as a 5-division champion with an extraordinary resume. Bradley explained that his view is not about Shakur matching Crawford's undisputed titles or jumping through multiple weight classes, but about the different opportunities available in today's boxing landscape. He feels Shakur, much like Crawford, is rare talent and elite skill, yet benefits from a modern era where politics are less restrictive. Bradley noted that if power brokers like Turkey Alashik had existed during Crawford's rise, helping bridge gaps between promoters, major fights against names like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Eudenis Ugas could have happened sooner, potentially elevating Crawford's profile even higher and showing just how far Shakur's path could ultimately go.
Like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the sense of becoming 3-time undisputed and, you know, going up to, you know, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. You know, he already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. You know, Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you know, you have guys like Turkey Alashik that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, you know, make these big fights happen.
With that in mind, Shakur is stepping into an era where elite talent from 130 to 135 pounds is far more accessible, giving him consistent opportunities to face top-tier opposition. Fighters like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, Oshawa Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and others represent a deep pool of potential matchups that could define his career. Bradley stresses that Shakur not only has the technical ability, intelligence, and discipline to compete with this level of competition, but also the tools to defeat them convincingly. With the right fights and proper exposure, These opportunities could allow Shakur to cement his legacy, expand his influence, and possibly surpass Crawford in overall impact and long-term achievements within the sport.
Danny Garcia and Ugas, and he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run, and Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters hovering around 135, 130, guys like, Oshaki Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up.
There's a major obstacle standing in the way. But watching these two fighters compete makes it clear that outside of cheating, they are highly unlikely to lose. With that in mind, Devin Haney quickly responds to Shakur, and Shakur fires back at Devin, creating a back-and-forth exchange that highlights the intensity and confidence shared among top-level fighters. This kind of public sparring reflects the competitive mindset that defines elite boxing. At one point, there was even discussion of a Four Kings 2.0 era, featuring Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the legendary group of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran, an era defined by rivalries, greatness, and unforgettable matchups.
So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial Four Kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Tio, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0 from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often overlooked in discussions of that legendary era, defeated Roberto Duran, who struggled against several members of the original Four Kings. Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard only once, was brutally knocked out by Tommy Hearns, outclassed by Marvin Hagler, and also bested by Benitez. Despite these achievements, Benitez remains largely overshadowed. In a modern parallel, fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. Yet Stevenson has begun to assert himself, especially after his dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis's legal issues and reluctance to take certain fights further emphasize the challenges and unique opportunities reshaping the current landscape of boxing.
Mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Tio, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating.
Bernie Thawboxer reacted to the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup by highlighting the impressive legacies and accomplishments of both fighters. Shakur Stevenson has become a 4-weight world champion, a 2-time lineal champion, and a 2-time Ring Magazine title holder. He also achieved 2-time unified champion status at 130 pounds, defeating high-level opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who consistently rises to the occasion, further cementing Stevenson's place among boxing's elite.
Comes into the ring, they talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, you know. But I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. You know, he been saying that, and now he came through victorious. You know, he's. I think he.
Devin Haney, meanwhile, is a 3-weight world champion and was once undisputed. Bernie emphasizes that if Shakur Stevenson wants to face Devin directly, he should do so without hesitation. Taking on Haney in his prime would leave no room for excuses and ensure Shakur receives full credit for a monumental achievement. According to Bernie, both fighters are elite, but defeating Haney at his peak would further cement Stevenson's legacy as one of the best fighters of his generation, showcasing his skill, determination, and championship-caliber ability.
Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. You know, so he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. You know, 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. You know, so he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion, you know, and that was it. He was in his prime too, you know. Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140, not taken away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying.
Shakur Stevenson recently delivered a dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez, and Busiai Ennis highlighted just how remarkable it was, especially considering Shakur fought almost entirely with one hand. His jab, the most important punch in boxing, was sharp and precise, flawlessly controlling distance. Every move he made was calculated and effective, demonstrating technical mastery that made Lopez appear amateurish despite his experience and athleticism. Many critics had questioned Shakur's resume, claiming he hadn't faced top competition, but against Lopez, he silenced all doubters. Technically, Shakur executed everything to perfection, and Lopez struggled simply because he was facing a fighter of Stevenson's caliber.
I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they were critical of Shakur. Oh, right. He ain't fought nobody and this and that. Yeah. He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Made him look like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even the time.
Even with his left hand slightly injured, Shakur maintained control throughout the fight, relying on his jab relentlessly and only using his left hand sparingly due to the injury. Buzzy emphasizes that Shakur could have gone for a stoppage if needed, yet he managed about intelligently despite the discomfort. The performance showcased not only his skill, but also his ring intelligence and composure. Fans in Philadelphia and beyond witnessed a masterclass, with Shakur asserting himself as one of boxing's elite talents. Even while hurt, he dominated the fight, proving that true greatness doesn't depend on perfect conditions. It depends on skill, heart, and unwavering focus.
I stopped and shoot, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the,
you know what I mean? And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we could hear you on the TV. Yo.
Yeah. That's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything.
The fight between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney is one that fans everywhere are eager to witness. Both fighters bring exceptional skill, speed, and determination, making every moment in the ring unpredictable and intense. Analysts and fans are dissecting their styles and past performances, debating who will emerge victorious. Every punch and movement will matter, with the stakes higher than ever. Shakur's technical mastery meets Devin's agility and power, creating a clash that promises fireworks. The energy surrounding this matchup is electric, and it has the potential to define both fighters' careers, delivering one of the most memorable bouts in recent boxing history.
Fight that even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them. They're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147 to be 5 weight division champion. I feel like that would be
That's it for today's video. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.